Is it there? Is it better there?
Yeah, I think it's better there.
It's better there.
Yeah.
In your headphone?
Yeah, in my headphone.
In your earphone?
I hear me slightly after I feel me.
I just had a Bo Burnham flashback. I'm sorry. We think we know you.
Oh, man. All Eyes on Me has been like ever since I watched that, which I watched it actually a bit after it came out. But it's been on my Apple Music playlist ever since.
Yeah, ever since, right? I got on a kick when I think I just needed like the song Comedy from that album. I'd seen like a breakdown of Bo Burnham and I was like, okay, I gotta just go down the rabbit hole. And my favorite album is Inside. So I was like, okay, just put it on. I just like belted it in the shower and I sang it so loud that when I got out of the shower, my roommate was listening to it. It was like, you inspired me.
There's a line that's something like, the ocean's rising like I give a shit.
Like I give a shit. The whole world's ending, honey, it already did.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm like, well, that's where we are.
That's where we are.
And here we are again.
Mm-hmm. Oh, God, here we are again.
Yeah.
After, that came out in 2020. So it's been 4 years, right? And now here we are again.
It's so fun. I love it. I love every minute of this timeline. It's so good.
This is a fantastic
it's
segue, though. So.
Yeah. Could you imagine how just jarring it would be if I just like hit record and was like, hi, I'm Clark. Like there was none of this bullshit beforehand and we actually like got to the intro.
That would be really strange. I mean, I guess most podcasts probably start with their intro and then it goes into the episode and we're kind of doing it the opposite direction.
Yeah, I'm just like, I wonder if that would be the cue for Karina to be like, something's wrong.
That's an Invasion of the Body Snatchers moment.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh no, now I got to find a way to kill assimilated Clark without him knowing that I know. Hey, speaking of which, I'm Karina.
I'm Clark.
And welcome to It's Always Spooky.
It's Always Spooky. Sing the intro.
It's always spooky.
How do we normally start these? No, it's like, how do we even introduce this? Because this is the product of shit happening.
It's the product of now, which is going to be really funny because when you think about when this episode is actually released, it's going to be fairly old news. But to us, it's still fairly like new news. But no more beating around the bush. The only way to really introduce this is just to literally say, hey, guess what we're covering this week? I decided to rewatch the 7th season of American Horror Story because I needed catharsis in my life. And I just wanted that moment of Sarah Paulson going, no, no. And in contrast to Evan Peters going, USA.
Yeah, and humping a TV.
So I pitched it to you because I wasn't sure if you'd seen it. And when you hadn't seen it, I was like, oh, fuck, we got to cover it then. This is perfect. I can't think of anything more horrifying than reality. Why don't we just cover it?
And history has repeated itself. So this is just as relevant right now as it was in 2017.
Yeah, when it came out. Mm-hmm. Unfortunate times. But it is a really fantastic season. I'm very excited to get into it. I was thinking about all day, like I've told you earlier when we decided to do episodes 1 through 4 today, I made a conscious effort not to watch further because I've seen the whole season. It's like, I know who lives and who dies. I know some of the like major plot points and some of the really cool like death scenes and like twists and turns. And so I wanted to make sure that I didn't go forward right past the 4th episode because I want really hard to not spoil any of it for you.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited about it because I stopped watching American Horror Story after Hotel. And it was just, I was just tired of the seasons having really great build and then the end was just garbage.
Yeah.
And so I decided to give up on it after a while. But starting this season, I'm actually really in it. And I don't know if it's just because it is so
like relevant
pertinent right now.
Yeah.
Because of its relevance. Like, I don't know if that's what's really hooked me in. Or if it's honestly that like this is one of the most comedic seasons I think that I've watched.
Sure. It's got like a lot of that like kind of, is it meta humor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm really enjoying it and I'm excited to get going with it. And as a heads up to everybody, this is going to be a series of episodes as well, just as Cult is itself. But in this episode, we're going to cover episodes 1 through 4. And then in the next episode, we're going to be doing 5 through 8. And then I think the last one's going to be 9, 10, and 11.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we get to go over kind of the fun stuff in this one. I don't know really what's forward, but we get to kind of see what is currently happening in this timeline. And then we also get to see a little bit of what built up to this, just with the very last episode that we're going to cover today.
Just a little bit of like backstory of how the cult by Kai was formed.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's a lot of big themes that are covered throughout this season. I was actually having a hard time listing all of them because I was like, these are quite a few things that we've covered before, but then it's also like, you know, the ties between politics and cultism and like that sort of stuff are very obvious.
Yeah, so, absolutely.
Yeah. But I feel like, why don't we just dive on in?
Yeah, dive into it. The only metadata I had for this, honestly, you know, this doesn't have like a title card. Not the same way that like a movie would, because it's a TV show. Obviously, because it's American Horror Story, it has its own unique like intro that kind of has like its own symbolism and imagery behind it, as well as like some sort of take on the theme song. And for this one, it was kind of more of like a fanfare modern take on the classic like American Horror Story tune. But I did want to point out that the title card in terms of like the poster for this season was a clown, and her brain is like a beehive.
Yeah.
Which I thought was very like poignant, right? Because it's like this cult mentality of like we all work for one being. And it also having like the clown symbolism behind it too. Clowns just being like a very big point of like inducing terror in this season.
Yeah, there is just like right off the bat a lot of clown shit happening, and they use it well.
Yeah.
There are certain points that the clowns are almost even a little bit of comic relief in the same way that they're being horrific. But I like that it's not just like the clown at the very beginning, who is obviously very horrifying. Some of them are very almost kind of, I don't know, cartoonesque.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
They're in well, we're talking specifically about Allie, right? Because Allie is this character that is very paranoid. She has like a lot of anxiety and a lot of like phobias. And one of those phobias is of clowns. And so it's kind of interesting. Like there's, while these clowns, the group of them, they murder people. They'll just go and pick a family and like, you know, kill them. For Allie, they're just torturing her. They're just finding her in places and like, or well, I guess you're kind of led to believe like, is she just like schizophrenic and she's just seeing these things, or is this an actual group that's terrorizing her? And so in terms of like them being there for comedic relief, they're not there to hurt her. They're there to like just make her uncomfortable. And so it's like it's kind of a weird I guess a weird dichotomy.
It's a very stark callback to like helter skelter behavior back with Charles Manson.
Yeah.
And I've heard that this season leads into that a little bit, and so I don't know if that's a little bit of foreshadowing.
I will neither confirm nor deny.
Sick. And I actually had written down that Allie's mental state throughout this kind of goes from a space of like reasonable assumptions of her own safety being at risk, and of course in the political climate that they were in at that point and that we are in again, just being afraid of what the future looks like under that sort of an administration. But she very quickly, I think within episode 2, starts to transition from those like reasonable assumptions into a little bit of conspiracy theory. And then you can see even her wife, Ivy, starting to think that maybe there's a psychological fracture that's happening, and it's not just the reaction to what happened as far as like the president who was elected.
Yeah, it seems like to me that Allie had been having those problems for a while. And just like thinking about the season as a whole, I kind of equate it to like the inciting incident was them having Oz.
Yeah.
And like just like having to be a mother and having to like take care of something else, and then all of the fears and phobias that kind of, it almost seems like it was like a postpartum type of disorder to me. And that like, then on top of that, when, you know, outside pressures are now forcing you to have other stresses in your life, like a political like election that could potentially put a lot of your own safety, not just like your personal safety, but also just like the safeties that you've like literally just had access to, in terms of like Ivy and Allie like being able to get married. And that was something that they brought up immediately. Just like, I think it was the Changs that they were hanging out with. And you kind of get this immediate sense that like, you know, not everybody's necessarily a good person. Like everybody has flaws. And it's when Mr. Chang yells at his wife and it's just like, you know, our friends might not be able to keep their marriage anymore because you were too lazy to get off of Etsy and go vote.
Yeah. I actually think about it now, putting it in terms of even my own situation at that point, which was I had just gotten married in 2016. Leap day 2016.
Right.
And it had just became legal the year before.
Mm-hmm.
And
so it was like a weird, like, nouveau concept, right?
Yeah.
You're like, is this even reality? And like, to be able to see that in real time potentially be undone. Like, obviously nothing is set in stone at that moment, but there's nothing that you can say that will get rid of that tangible like fear that you have. Yeah.
And regardless of whether or not, you know, it's in terms of the safety of the sanctity of your marriage, or whether it's in terms of your own physical safety, it's also a matter of there is a new breed of political following who have been emboldened by somebody who has given them a very loud voice.
Yes.
And that in itself lends itself to that feeling of just discomfort and that feeling of not being entirely certain what the future holds.
Very like isolation, right? Just because if you think about, if you surround yourself with people who have similar mindsets to you, you kind of start to develop this sense of security that there is like a good and there's a decency in the world and people generally want to be good people. But then you have something that is so jarring, like Donald Trump getting elected, who is an abhorrent piece of fucking shit, in my personal opinion.
Correct!
And you can at me for that. I don't care.
At me too. You can't. I'm not on social media, but
exactly.
At me.
But like, who gives a shit? But it's exactly true of just like, I think it's just a matter of like, I was talking about community, right?
Yeah.
You've got this sense of community. You're like, you think generally that like, even if things don't go your way, election wise, that you can still live your life and be able to see across the aisle and be like, okay, maybe we weren't our best selves and we do have things to work on. But then you get a much different outcome when now you realize, no, there might be a good portion of the American people that might not just be misguided. They might actually believe those things. They might actually really hate people that much. Or just not care enough. Right?
Yeah.
Or just flat out like, it doesn't affect me. Why should I care?
Yeah, because I mean, even this time around, there are so many people who tried to mask the way that they were voting with like, oh, I'm doing this for economic policy, or oh, I'm doing this because of geopolitical issues that are going on right now that neither side took a stance that I really appreciated. And in reality, a lot of those people are voting the way that they are out of bigotry and misogyny, or racism. And it is really highlighting that we, as an American society, tend to see ourselves a lot more forward than we really are.
Yes.
And this time around has really shown that over half of our population, somebody being charged with sexual assault, somebody being an actual like convicted felon, somebody who speaks to women and about women in a way that is absolutely vile, that's not a deal breaker for them.
No.
And that is...
No, it's even a role model quality.
It's even a role model. And it's horrific to think that there are that many people who think that that kind of person is okay and that is the kind of person who should represent our country.
Right. And it would be one thing if like if that side thought that the other side, Democrats in this case, were just like throwing this mud on Donald Trump, like just saying like, oh, he hates women, and convicting him of all of these things, but like pinning it on him, and he didn't actually do it. Like, I can imagine a world where somebody would believe that, but like, he's on camera saying half that shit. It's even in the first episode of this season of this show of him like, I could shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue and I wouldn't lose a single voter. Like that is something that like in 50 years from now, people are going to be reading about in a goddamn history book. Although we are going to whitewash it. Don't get me wrong. We're going to make sure we like really water down a lot of those facts.
Yeah. Oh,
right?
yeah.
We're going to bastardize the fuck out of that because we don't like telling anybody the actual truth. But you're not going to be able to get away from it unless you get rid of the internet, because it's literally on there right now. You could go look it up.
Yeah, honestly, like 50, 60 years from now, I don't want to hear anybody reading any history books that are written by any white people.
Yeah.
Like, no.
Today, I don't want to. It's probably a good reason why I didn't like history class, because I was like, this sounds like a crock of bullshit. You're telling me that like everybody else is bad and committed genocide, but not America?
Yeah, please tell me where Thanksgiving came from again and how that panned out.
Yeah, please tell me, when was America great? I just want to know.
Yeah, okay, so let's really get down to brass tacks about Columbus Day here.
Yeah. But I'm pretty sure he was lost at sea and natives went and found him.
Yeah.
I don't actually know if that's the truth.
And then they had dinner.
Fucking Christ and a
God,
half.
this fucking country.
Damn it.
And you know, the thing is too, is that we couldn't not talk about this covering this season, because literally the introduction to this season is campaign footage from Donald Trump.
Yep.
And there's a little bit in it from Hillary too.
Yep.
And then there's a little bit from the actual night of the election and everything that transpired there.
Mm-hmm.
But then we quickly go into wait, is the clown situation where they're fucking, is that before or after the political footage?
It's after.
After. Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's after. It kind of, because it kind of starts with election night, and the whole like clown fucking incident happens at the grocery store when Allie like goes there later.
Oh no, the one where it's the clown that has the like partial mask that pulls off. Mm-hmm. There's the scene where there's the two people who are getting it on in the field. I can't remember if it opens with that scene in episode 1.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about the teenage couple when they get killed by Twisty.
Yeah. I forgot his name's Twisty.
He was prominent in season 4.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah,
I want to say that cold open for Twisty happened in episode 2.
Oh, okay. Essentially, then it goes from like this political footage into Ivy, Allie, and Oz's house, which leads into kind of like the big trivia that I have for kind of the whole season, which is Allie, Ivy, and Oz's house is the Doyle house from 1978's Halloween.
No shit.
Yeah, so that actually kind of like ties into our universe, is that their house is the Doyle's house from Halloween, and the Chang's house was also in Halloween.
Dude.
Yeah.
Wow, that's actually really fucking cool. I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Do you want to just get into our like favorite and scariest scenes, or do you want to do like a quick recap of the first 4 episodes?
I would say,
because I feel like there's a lot of characters.
There is a lot of characters.
So it's hard to do like a 60-second recap or like a quick recap of.
It is. I would say we could try to do a super brief synopsis for like episode 1. I would say that it's really just kind of like setting the foundation of this is what happened with the election. And actually, yeah, now that I even think about it, trying to do a brief one, going over even my notes, I'm like, there's too much.
I would think so. I would do, instead of doing it by episode, I would do it as a whole. And I would say, you know, this season takes place during the 2016 like U.S. Election cycle. Kind of focuses on 2 main groups of people. It focuses on a lesbian couple, Allie, Ivy, and Oz, who like, you know, they're living in this little like HOA community, and they're experiencing marital issues, but they're mostly due to like Allie's mental health. And then on the flip side of that, with this same like election that's going on, it's about a man named Kai. I think it's Kai Anderson. Yeah. He takes the 2016 presidential election in a much different light, where he uses it as an opportunity to spread mass fear and to create like a cult out of it. And so that's kind of like what the first 4 episodes are. It's kind of like how Allie and Ivy kind of are going through their intermarital issues and are somehow like connected to Kai while he's creating this cult. Because there is like immediate crossovers when you find out that Kai's younger sister is now their new nanny, the lesbian couple's new nanny. And so you immediately are like, okay, there's bigger elements that are at play here.
Yeah. Yeah, which Kai's younger sister, Winter, is played by Billie Lourd, and she is phenomenal in everything that she does. I want to see her on TV so much more.
Oh, yeah.
I just feel like she's pretty underappreciated.
Well, both her mom and her grandma are like, I mean, they were pinnacle.
Yeah.
She actually did say, Billie said that this season actually saved her life because she lost both her grandmother and her mother in like the same 6-month span. And so she had told Ryan that like when he approached her for this job, she just threw herself into it. And it like single-handedly like saved her.
Oh,
which is super cool. Yeah. And she's really fucking good at it. You're right. She's fucking phenomenal in this.
She is very good. But her and Emma Roberts, I think of them in Scream Queens. I don't think of them in American Horror Story, and they were in American Horror Story much more.
Yep.
Because Scream Queens is only 2 seasons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I feel like they've both been in at least 3 seasons, 4 seasons for Emma Roberts, at least, of American Horror Story. Like, I can't remember when Billie Lourd came in. I don't think it was Coven. I don't think so. It wasn't Freak Show. It wasn't even Hotel. It was probably the 1984, the slasher one.
Well, because she was in Coven, right?
She was in Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Oh, when is Apocalypse?
She was in Coven. Was she in Asylum?
No, she wasn't in Asylum. She's in Coven, but it's not season 3. It's season 6 or 5. No, maybe it's season 8.
When they like come back to Coven?
Yes. Because I think it's season 8. It's after Cult, before 1984. It's called Apocalypse. And Apocalypse is it's a mashup between Murder House season 1 and Coven season 3. It's like a mashup of those two.
So the timeline with all this.
I know. we could definitely cover more seasons. Like this is definitely like a good first season to cover.
It is, yeah.
But yeah, I fucking love American Horror Story.
I would say, since we kind of have the like brief synopsis for the whole season and then also for just these first 4 episodes, are there any just kind of like call outs you want to make or honorable mentions for certain scenes within the first episode that aren't necessarily your favorite or the scariest?
To try really hard not to like go outside of those 4 episodes.
I can point out a couple from episode 1.
Okay.
I was listening to a few different recap YouTube videos, so I'm not exactly sure which creator this one came from, but I heard them speak to the creation of these characters as them being the perception of those people from the opposite party.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I like the way that they worded that because there is kind of the extremes of both sides, and it is what the opposite side would perceive those people as.
Totally.
And so I just like the way that was worded.
I kind of like that. I like that.
And kind of elaborating a little bit further on that, Allie embodies liberal despair, and Kai embodies the more conservative gloating and showboating.
Yeah.
And Ivy is stuck between supporting her wife and trying to kind of dissociate from what's happening and just kind of like really dive into life and work and their kid and just focus kind of everything there.
Yeah, right? Because I think we were talking about this earlier too, right? It's very easy when you get like a really bad news. The thing that was really making me upset about the last week is, the people that would come up to you and be like, you live in a progressive state and, you're white. I don't know what you're worried about, right? And like, to me, like, that's not even remotely the fucking point, right? And so I think that it is interesting that Allie is taking very much that kind of like immediate snap reaction of like, shit has hit the fan.
Yeah.
Things are going to get bad. Like, even if they're not bad immediately, like, it's just the fear of the unknown, this existential dread of like, what is my life going to look like now?
Yeah, it's the impending doom.
The impending doom, yes.
Yeah.
And I feel like for some people, and I understand why, they would take Ivy's approach of just like, okay, well, I can't change it. I can't fix it. There's nothing I can do to make this situation better. But so I'll just control what I can control, which is my life and my kid and my wife and my, my hobbies and my activities. And I understand why you would want to do that. It does kind of feel a little bit like burying your head in the sand.
It does.
And just being like, okay, well, the problem isn't affecting me right now. So like, if I go down here, then maybe I don't have to fucking worry about it.
And that is like such a common coping mechanism too, is to just assert control where you can.
Yeah.
And just disregard everything
and
else.
Just leave it. Just go, ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Out of sight, out of mind.
Exactly. Yeah. And there's even a quote that I wrote down, which was right after the election's called and it's showing Allie and Ivy, I think even for the very first time.
Yeah.
Allie says, quote, "I'm just so scared now." And Ivy responds with, "Everybody is."
Mm-hmm.
And so you see that moment of her like aligning with her. And that's almost the last time that you see her really align with her for at least through episode 4. So
well, yeah, it very much to me, like throughout those first 4 episodes, you can really see like Ivy like getting fucking tired of it.
Yeah.
Like to the point of like, I'm sure at first she was very compassionate, very understanding, very much like, I got you. I can carry your 20 for now. Like, just focus on you. But then after what has probably been years at this point, Oz is like 6 or 7, right? Like, if she's been doing this for that long, I can see Ivy just being like, I get it. You're dealing with a lot, but like, we have a fucking life and a business and a child. And like, at some point you need to just get help.
Yeah. And there's also the like refusal to take medication, the refusal to really even attempt at going back to normal life.
Right.
And
she is going to therapy.
She is going to therapy. That is yeah. And that is true. She is at least trying in that way. And this is also not to say that either one of them is wrong or either one of them is right.
Oh, hell no.
There's so much that plays into that dynamic, and there's so many things that nobody can really empathize with when it comes to like individual mental health crises. And it's also one of those things where you don't blame Ivy for the way that she's feeling either. And so neither one of them is right, neither one of them is wrong. It's just that unfortunately that was a dynamic that we saw happen a lot after this specific situation.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Should we dive into our favorite and scariest?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
I don't remember which episodes these happened in, but I don't really think it matters that much. What was your favorite scene?
So from episode 1, I wrote that my favorite scene was the grocery store scene. Because that was just pure chaos. Like there was no rhyme or reason to any of it. I didn't, at least through the first 4 episodes, there's nothing about it that was really symbolic.
Sure.
It was just there to break her.
Yep.
That is it.
To terrorize her.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it worked.
Yeah.
So,
and isn't it funny how like to anybody else that would have maybe been jarring or like maybe mildly upsetting. But they knew that she was absolutely terrified of clowns, which is very interesting. It's almost like did they have access to her therapy notes? Do they talk to people that she knows? Right. Like just that they knew that like she would absolutely lose her shit if they were all dressed up as clowns and they could literally do whatever they wanted. And she wouldn't fight them back. She wouldn't they also knew that the police wouldn't believe her because it was so interesting. Like she didn't call the police. Yeah. She didn't like try and call anybody for help, maybe because she didn't think anybody would actually help her.
And honestly, the part of that whole scene that would have bothered me the most was I would have been like, food safety. You guys are fucking on the fruit.
On the on the watermelons, man.
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
Like it's super gross.
At least go do that in the packaged food section. But yeah, that was my favorite from episode 1 at least.
I will tell you that is one of my scariest scenes. Only because I was trying to imagine it through Allie's perspective and just how scary and how like isolating that would feel, being like terrorized in a store where like you only have access to a couple of different exits and things like that. But while I labeled it as my scariest scene, I have another one that I'll talk about when we do scary scenes. I could not help myself when I watched it the next time thinking how easy it would have been to just like throw a bottle of wine at like one of them when they were riding the scooter. Yeah. Just like, like tripping them. Just
or even just be like, well, that's weird, and turn around and leave.
Yeah,
like,
right?
Yeah.
Just be like, okay.
Yeah, there is some serious fuck shit going on in this grocery store, and I'm going to take my bow out now.
Right? You just would be like, wow, I didn't get the invitation to the clown orgy party, but I'm going to politely decline and see myself out.
Yeah, and like I'm not going to feel bad about Irish goodbying Chaz Bono in a Make America Great Again hat.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Just
and
goodbye.
He even like disappeared pretty quickly too.
Yeah.
Like, he was there for a minute and then was just gone.
Yeah, and then I think there was a clown there or something like that. Or
yeah,
gotta be one.
Yeah,
of
no,
them.
it definitely was because she ran back up to be like, sir,
yeah,
and then it was you're
right. What about I wrote down favorite and scariest for each episode.
Oh, okay. I'm just kind of down.
But I know, like,
I was like, I didn't do it.
You've
for
also
every
seen
episode.
the whole season, so it's probably hard to like delineate which things are from which.
Right. I kind of want to know like what your favorite scene is, or from each episode, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll go through them.
Okay.
My scariest scene from episode 1, this actually gives us a little bit of closure on the people fucking in the field and then Twisty.
Yeah.
That was my scariest scene from episode 1, was that or the clown in Allie's bed.
Yeah. She just woke up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was either one of those. But I would kind of say the field scene where Twisty's there, and then there's the two like teenagers who are about to get it on, and then the girl pauses and she's just like, somebody's watching us.
Yeah.
And he starts to come out. It was equally scary because it was jarring just how like he just brutally attacked, and it was very visible. It showed all
Broad
of it.
Daylight. Yep.
But then also kind of comical because she was like not running for like a minute while he's just
long.
Like stab over and over again, and she's just like watching, and then when she does start to run, she's like running 10 feet and like looking back, and then like running 10 feet and looking back,
and then go run into the bus. That's a great place to hide.
Yeah, let's go run into the thing that you can't get out of.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah.
Like, you probably could get out of the back of it, but it's rusted and it's old. Yeah.
And honestly, one of the most horrifying things about Twisty is just that dental hygiene.
You mean half of his face being blown off?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he might need a cleaning.
Less shotgun shells.
Yeah, a good like D-scale and root plane would do him some real good.
Favors. I don't think so. I don't think all the dental help in the world can help that man.
But they'd try, and they'd charge him a lot of money for it.
I don't know which episode this scene is in, but my favorite scene is actually very simple. It's just when I think the clowns have come over to Allie's and Ivy's house to terrorize her again. And earlier that night when Oz has like a bad dream, I think he tells Winter, and Winter says, oh, well, you just have to ask the bad dream if it's real or not. And so, yeah.
I could get up and walk in circles right now.
And so it's when like the clowns are coming through, and one of them comes into Oz's bedroom, and Oz wakes up and he looks at the clown, and the clown looks at him and he's like, are you real? And the clown's like, no. And he's like, okay. And he just goes back to sleep.
It was episode 2 because I wrote that down as my favorite for episode 2.
He asks the clown if he's asleep, and he's like, yes, you're asleep.
Yeah. He's like, am I sleeping or are you real?
Yeah.
And he's like, you're asleep.
Yeah, you're asleep.
And he's like, okay. And just goes back to sleep.
It's It's so innocent. It's so cute. It's also so fucking terrifying that guy was just literally like, you gotta wake up. You have this kind of moment of like, oh shit, and then he says the most innocent thing, and you're just like, yeah, you're asleep.
Yeah, he's just like,
cool.
Hey,
yeah,
kid.
right.
Yeah, go back to bed.
Okay, chill.
Yeah, the only other thing that I wanted to point out about episode 1 was that it ends with the death of Councilman Chang, which is actually kind of the way that Kai starts to build his platform. So I think it was important to highlight that because that was Kai's doing, and that is Kai's platform for getting involved.
I see the tie that you're making there. I completely agree because it is very interesting the way that they play with time in here, because the Changs die at the end of episode 1, but by that point Kai has a following. Yeah. There's like 4 or 5 members that are there, right, that are helping him kill people.
Yep.
So then you kind of, as the episodes are going through, you're wondering, who are these people, right? And I think it's episode 4 that you kind of start to see some of the recruits that he starts talking to. And then I believe at the end of episode 4, they kill another family.
I think so, yeah.
3. No, I believe episode 4 is when like you just see Harrison and he's covered in blood. And he's like, my wife, I came home and like, I was just like this and I don't know where she is. I don't think anyone dies in episode 4.
I don't think so.
But yeah, I just find it interesting, right? Like, killed the Changs in episode 1, but that was technically a very much later event in terms of like those 4 episodes, because at that point he had already amassed this small following.
Exactly. Yeah, that was like he already has this following, and that following is what helps him to enact killing Councilman Chang. Mm-hmm. And then now that's how he's gonna essentially take his cult.
Chair.
He's gonna take his cult and he's gonna be able to bring it to a bigger capacity. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Which like leads into episode 2, which the only like big note that I had for this one, aside from like favorite and scariest scenes, was it's the introduction of the Wiltons, which are hilarious.
Oh, the next door neighbors, the neighbors across the street. Yeah.
Yeah, they fucking kill me. They are so funny. Possibly one of the funniest like duos in American Horror Story for me.
They're super funny. Yeah, I really do like their dynamic. And I kind of like their like introduction to the characters, Ivy and Allie, because it's kind of funny. I think the first time they go over and they're talking, and initially like Allie's kind of like abrasive. She doesn't really want to make friends, right? And then they kind of schmooze them. They get them inside and they're talking, and very quickly like they both Allie and Ivy realize that Harrison is gay. I think it's because they're both Meadow and Harrison are talking about their favorite movies that they like to watch together.
Yeah, they're talking about is it like Nicole Kidman?
I think it's Nicole Kidman.
Yeah,
like that's like their idol,
and they're like the presidents of like the Michigan chapter.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and so it's like Meadow looks over and she says, "Honey, your gay is showing," right? And it just kind of like leads into this bigger conversation of like, oh, why are they married in the first place if like Meadow is straight and Harrison is gay? It's just like that's how it works for them. They just had a pact when they were younger, and like ended up working out. And like I think it was funny when Harrison is like, I get to have my one weekend every 3 months so that I don't tell her about, right? But she knows, and like it's fine because Meadow doesn't really like to get touched because of the whole cancer thing. So like it works out.
The biggest plot hole for that episode is just that who in their right mind is going to be offered Crystal Light lemonade to go into somebody's house and like take that offer. Like you could have offered me just like a mud pie,
just a fucking swamp water.
Yeah, you could have been like, oh, I have a jar of dead flies in the house. Do you want to come join me for a drink? And I'd be like, yeah. They do Crystal Light lemonade, and I'm like, no, actually, you're a psychopath.
Wow, we got some hot takes about Crystal Light lemonade right now.
Yeah, you want to come see my jar of teeth?
And then drink out of it?
Yeah, and
I'll
then
pour
drink out of
whiskey
it.
in it.
Yeah, as long as it's not Crystal Light fucking lemonade that's in that jar of teeth, then I'm going to be fine with it. You want a teeth smoothie?
No, I don't. I really, really don't.
So for episode 2, my favorite scene was the "Am I sleeping or are you real?" And
it's just too good. It's just so cute.
It's adorable. And it's also like he is out the second that he says,
he's just like, okay,
all right.
You could literally murder me right now and I wouldn't care.
The Windows like power off sound. The minute for scariest scene, I wrote down that there really aren't a lot of scary scenes in this episode, but if I were to pick one, I would say the scene where it's after they've like reinforced the house and Kai is out soliciting for his campaign and he knocks on the door, and then it's the conversation between he and Allie.
Yeah.
That isn't necessarily scary, but there is a lot of tension and you don't get much relief from it.
Absolutely. And I really appreciated that scene too. I want to explore it a little bit further because it's almost like the scene that we were talking about with Georgie and Pennywise. Mm-hmm. When Pennywise is like playing this game for a long time, Kai's doing the same thing. He's playing this like this showboating like gentleman game, right? And like Allie's just like not buying it. And finally, like right before she's about to slam the door in his face for probably like the second time or whatever, I think he just grabs the door. Yeah. Right. And he just shakes it really violently until it rattles. And he's like, why do you need bars on your windows if you feel so safe? Yeah. Right. Like, are you afraid of something? What are you afraid of?
That's his transition into Georgie.
into just like I can also be really fucking scary.
Yeah. And the scarier he gets, the hotter he is. I don't make the rules. Yep.
Evan Peters is just a god, and we all have to bow down.
Yep. The less humanity I see in those eyes, the more I'm like, do what you want.
Do whatever.
Yep.
Doesn't matter.
I also want to point out the ending for episode 2 because it is kind of the foundation for episode 3.
Okay.
Which is that it ends with Allie mistakenly shooting one of the kitchen team from their restaurant, Pedro. And that sets up the next episode and what I'm assuming is going to be a lot of the episodes moving forward where Allie is now not only horrified of everything that's going on, but Allie has also been painted as a racist and as a murderer.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, very, very, very true. I was just thinking to myself, I couldn't remember which episode was the cold open for the couple in the coffins.
Oh, that is episode 3.
It's episode 3. Okay.
Yeah.
Neighbors from Hell. That kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Because that's my scariest scene. Like, that was my...
I think that was mine too.
For episode 3.
Yeah. Yeah, that was my scariest.
For episode 2, I mean, I think we covered everything in that one.
Yeah, because I don't feel like a lot other than like introducing us to the Wiltons.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of scenes with Winter and Oz because like Winter's slowly like corrupting Oz by showing him shit on the dark web and like, kind of just poisoning him a little bit when it comes to like his innocence at least. Yeah.
Yeah, just kind of elaborating a little bit further on the relationship that Oz and Winter are developing, which is not positive. And then setting the scene for episode 3, really. I think that's about all that happens there.
I feel like so, because I feel like episode 3 and 4 is where things kind of kick off more for like the Wiltons and getting Oz and Winter involved and like all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Which episode 3 opens with a cute little above ground live burial.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, and like literally probably one of the saddest scenes for me because it starts with like the woman kind of getting over her PTSD from her past, like where like her father locked her or her parental figure locked her in a cupboard, and so like she's afraid of like claustrophobic like spaces, and she like conquers her fear, and then she goes home, and like her and her husband are gonna have like this romantic night, and then he goes out to go get something, and you just hear him like get assaulted, and then they're both forced into side-by-side caskets that then they like the clowns bolt shut.
It also gives you insight into where the leak is for these people's phobias, because the opening scene is her speaking with her therapist, who is Cheyenne Jackson.
The same therapist
that Allie has. And now you're like, these clown bitches are playing on people's phobias and people's trauma.
Where do you think they got that
Where
information
I
from?
smell a HIPAA violation somewhere. Yeah.
But do you think, and I'm asking this purely as somebody who's seen the rest of the season, do you think he's involved, or do you think those notes have been stolen?
I don't know if I necessarily think that he is one of the clowns, but I think he's involved in some way. And I strictly say that because when in episode 3, when Allie is about to go confront the protesters and she's starting to say like, oh, I'm going to go confront them, he totally cuts her off.
Because she's on the phone with him.
Yeah, because she's on the phone with him, and he just cuts her off and says, we're out of time.
Yeah.
And he's like, we'll have to talk about this next time. I do want to validate your feelings and like that sort of stuff. But he does very just like generic therapist verbiage, and he's just trying to cut off the conversation.
Right. Right.
Yeah. And so he also, I just always feel like Cheyenne Jackson is a bad person. So
he's got that face.
Yeah.
He's got that face. I'm very excited for you to figure out all of that.
I'm excited too. This season really has me going.
Yeah.
I have a couple of little notes from this episode, which is that Kai is always wet, and I just don't trust it.
He's always wet.
Yeah.
He's always freshly showered.
Yeah, he's just always freshly showered. And it's something about somebody who's always wet. I don't fucking trust him. Why are you like that? Like, wait.
I can kind of get it when like he's at the gym and shit.
Yeah, but like you own towels.
All the time? Like,
yeah, I don't know.
You're like, I don't know.
Yeah, he's apparently a genius, but he doesn't know how to dry himself off.
Yeah, right.
I wrote down that this is the episode where the connections start to show.
Kai's connections?
Where Kai's connections start to show a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Does the newscaster lady die in this one, or is that the last episode?
I think that's the next one.
Yeah, it's 11/9. Okay.
Yeah. One of the bigger notes that I wrote for this one too was just that this is one of the first episodes where you do get to see really classic cult leader behavior, where you see Kai identifying a vulnerability in somebody and exploiting it for control, and then that turning into also confessional.
Yeah.
Because whenever he locks pinkies with somebody, they have to be honest. And he is pulling more and more information that he can use from these people in order to blackmail them if they were to try to turn against him.
100%.
But he also uses that information to bolster them when they need a little bit of a push to be able to push his agenda.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I don't like it because it's fucked up. But the way that he when he does those pinky promise confessionals, he makes them feel like you're afraid of something, right? That vulnerability. You're afraid of something. I'm going to take that fear from you. Yep. I'm going to shoulder that burden now. So now you just have to do what I say. You have to be subservient to me, and you don't have anything to worry about anymore. And I think that kind of power that you're instilling in other people, of just that, like, you don't have anything to be afraid of anymore, because I'm your grand messiah that's going to not only take away your pain, but like show you the way forward. All you have to do is just blindly follow what I say, and like everything will be coconuts from here on out.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting that, like, I mean, we've seen this multiple times in like real life scenarios. Cult leaders are incredibly narcissistic. All they care about is themselves.
Yep.
Right. And so it's very interesting to only care about yourself, only think about yourself. Your agenda is purely for personal gain, but you're spinning it. You're spinning this web of lies of like, no, I'm doing this for you. No, I'm your ally. And I'm not necessarily above you. I'm just like the one that's helping out, like, it's just interesting.
It smells like a bad spray tan.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't smell great, that's for sure.
Yeah, it seems like it would stand in a really awkward way.
But I do like to. I was just thinking about Harrison, not my Harrison, but the Harrison in the show, right? When Kai is like slowly pressuring Harrison to kill his boss, because his boss is just like, a bigot towards him, and is like degrading and demeaning towards him. And
oh yeah, he's gym dude, bro.
Yeah, right. And at first there's a moment where, Harrison is like, I can't do that. He's my boss. And Kai just goes, all right, well, fuck it. You don't want my help. I'll just leave then. Right. Like he just he spins it as okay, well, you're not worthy of me anyways. I'll just go over here. And he almost like makes Harrison turn around and be like, wait. No, I believe you. Like, I want to be on your team. Like, please don't go.
Well, and he even mentions in, it's post killing Harrison's boss. Mm-hmm. He mentions, I've been watching you. I've been watching the people around you. Mm-hmm. And that's how I know that this guy doesn't have a family. He doesn't have kids. He doesn't have a dog.
Which is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
How could you hear somebody say that and be like, oh yeah, okay, cool. Then you've done all the homework. Awesome.
Yeah. And then go into a scene where he's like, oh, this is someone to believe in.
Yeah, that was so fucking crazy. I actually really like that scene because Kai's just fucking sitting there like a sociopath, and he's like, cock the head to the side. You're not gonna be able to pull it off like that, right? And Harrison's just sitting there with the saw blade, and I don't even know why. Like, do you think I'm thinking in this moment, like, why did Meadow get called there? Did Harrison call Meadow? Like, why were they? I guess maybe this was.
Oh, no, she just showed up because this is after they lost their house.
Yeah, okay, that's what I was thinking. I was like, okay, this.
And she offers to fuck the people for a cigarette.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, where she's like, I lack in experience, I make up for enthusiasm.
Yeah. And I like how the guy's just like, just take it. Just have it.
Yeah, she's like, I'm out of Xanax and I just need something to take the edge off.
Right. It's like, fuck me, bro.
That, as much as I kind of like pushed through episode 4 really quickly, that was so fucking good. Like, there's the quote of like, this pussy grabs back. Mm-hmm. And this is the introduction of the Scream Queen herself, Emma Roberts. But there's a few things in that episode too. Or actually, going back to episode 3 really quick. Rest in peace, Mr. Guinea. I don't want to say that was my favorite scene because it wasn't. My favorite scene was the sombrero scene, but
oh god, I love that fucking scene.
Yeah, yep.
Trying to conjure like a quote from that. I just remember Harrison just having some really good ones. Just like, oh, you hate my skin color? You're going to shoot me too, right?
Yeah. I did a 23andMe and I am 10% Mexican. What are you going to shoot? Oh my God. There's another one too where it's Meadow and Kai are pinky locked and Meadow confesses this might actually be my favorite from that episode. She confesses, I'm afraid that the man that I love is turning against me. And Kai says, he is. I would. You're so fucking irritating.
I did not remember that line. I just liked when I think either Allie called their house and was like, don't talk to my son anymore. Don't give him any weird pets or whatever. And Harrison says his 2 cents. And then Meadow says, give me the phone. And she says, hello, Les. I think you're a horrible racist. And then she just hangs up.
Those two are just comedic gold. So many epic lines that come from them.
They probably had so much fun filming this scene.
Hello, Les.
It's just, I think you're a horrible racist. Click. And Allie was just like,
I do have to point out, I don't know whether they're true racists, but I do like to point out that the lesbians are played by lesbians, which is nice.
Yes.
And like the gays, for the most part, are played by gays.
Yes.
It's so nice to actually have the representation.
I can kind of appreciate that.
Yeah.
You know who Sarah Paulson's dating?
Yeah.
Just like an absolute icon.
She's the teacher off of Legally Blonde.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just think of her as the mother in George of the Jungle.
Oh yeah, no.
And now I'm gonna have to look up the name because I don't know why I'm blanking on it. But
she is the professor. The law is reason free from passion.
So goddamn true.
One day we're gonna record these in video format too, because we're pretty expressive.
Holland Taylor. God, I
yeah,
don't know,
they have like a 30-year age gap too.
Yeah, and they've been together for a long time now.
Yeah,
it's pretty dope.
So we kind of already got into episode 4 anyway. I'll just go over a couple of other things that I had written down and then make sure that we've gone over yours as well.
I think we've gone over all of mine.
Okay.
I just have trivia and I've got my rating. And yeah.
There's one scene toward the beginning of episode 4 where Meadow says, I just feel like there should be some sort of test that you have to pass in order to achieve the right to vote. And Harrison is like, do you think you'd pass it? And she's like, of course not. That's my point.
That's my point.
Yeah. And then she says something to the effect of like, I shouldn't even be able to vote for American Idol or something like that.
Or like the only thing I should be able to vote for is American Idol.
And then there's a quote from Kai that I wanted to point out that is dangerously inspiring, which is, a man with no label has an allegiance only to what is right. When he is trying to ask Harrison, what kind of gay are you? Or like, what type of gay are you?
Right.
And he responds that he's versatile. And he was like, what about you, to Kai? And he essentially says that I am a man with no labels, and that a man with no label has an allegiance only to what is right. And that is simultaneously beautiful.
Yes.
And terrifying.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you think of people in history that have been excellent orators and have said like such beautiful things and just used them in the most vile ways.
Right.
And he plays that very well.
Yep.
Yeah.
That is somebody who can, it's very interesting, a person that can weaponize their words that way, that can sound one way and sound very like professional, but has an underlying message and tone to it.
Yeah. And you know who isn't good at that? Our president-elect. Can't fucking form a sentence. But that's a conversation for another day.
Listening to his fucking acceptance speech was fucking painful. God. Oh my God.
Listening to him talk ever, I'm like, oh, this really shines a light on who his base is. There's the very difficult scene to watch where Meadow is very obviously assaulting Harrison. Where they're on the couch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love the way he lets her down though. He's like, that's worked for you maybe like what? Twice?
Yeah.
Like 5 times since we've been married, and she's like, it's worked twice.
Let's see. I wrote down something about the barbell death. Oh, and that if Evan Peters looked at me the way that he looked at Harrison, I also probably would have killed my boss. No offense, Brie. You get it. She's a homie. She'll listen to this and she'll be like, oh, I would have killed you too.
100%.
And then I would say that the scariest scene for me in episode 4 was the torture of Chaz Bono.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even though he kind of deserved it.
Oh, yeah. He's a shit. But
100% deserved it.
But like, you're torturing Cher's kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His name is Gary.
That true. That really does kind of like dehumanizes him a little bit.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. No offense, Gary. Also, not character Gary, friend Gary. I don't know if he's ever going to listen to this, but like,
doubt it.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Nobody's ever going to listen to this.
But that is a pretty interesting piece of trivia that like Chaz Bono shares transgender son who's very, very like prominent and outspoken in the LGBTQIA plus community. And for him to play such a like horrible person, so somebody who like prescribes to that agenda, 10 toes pointed in the same direction.
5 solid fingers pointed right at Donald Trump. All the fingers he's got right at Donald Trump.
But he plays that character very well. I'm glad that he really like ran with it. Was really like, oh, okay, you want me to be absolutely terrible? Okay, I could do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I can
lean into like the bigotry that I've probably suffered throughout my entire life and like really channel it into this character.
That's the thing, is like all of these characters that you see portraying these absolutely horrific evil people, you know that this is shit that they've faced.
Yeah.
And so they're just able to take that and turn it right back onto the camera.
Absolutely.
Because like Billy Eichner is gay and Colton Haynes is gay and I believe Cheyenne Jackson's gay.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Sarah Paulson's gay. Allison Pill, I believe she's gay. And you know that this is all bigotry that they have faced. Evan Peters is straight, I believe. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know if he's ever confirmed or denied anything about it, and we don't need to know.
Yeah.
But you know that this is stuff that is coming from not just experiencing what life was like at this time, but experiencing this throughout their whole life.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It is very interesting because I'm sure a lot of them really did find this season as an opportunity to really like play on some of those, not fears, but play on some of those like experiences that they've had, or even to like entertain some that they haven't had, but that they know exist. That examples that do exist in the world, and being able to play on that horror. Because this is a trivia point for me, but that this is the first season of American Horror Story that doesn't contain any supernatural elements.
Yeah.
Which is just funny because like reality is terrifying enough. You don't need ghosts and like seances and shit on top of it to really make it that much scarier. So
yeah, I feel like what we cover on this podcast and what we're going to continue to cover on this podcast is going to be a breath of fresh air compared to what real life is going to look like for the next little bit.
The next little bit here, but
yeah,
at least we always have horror movies.
Yeah, to think we're going to be the reprieve.
Yeah. Oh, Lord, help us. Jesus Christ.
Y'all are fucked.
Y'all are fucked.
Yeah. Oh, man.
I don't know if there's any other trivia I could get to right now. I'm not going to tell you the 7 roles, but Evan Peters does have 7 roles in this season.
Okay.
I was going to name them all, but I felt like that was kind of like spoilers.
Okay. I like that this is like, I'm uncovering it as we go, and you already know all of the things.
Yeah,
and it's so
kind of
good.
fun. I wrote them all down, and I was like, wait a second, I can't like name all of these off because like if people haven't seen it, I mean, if you haven't seen it by now, like it's not like we're doing a spoiler-free podcast, but I don't want you to know. Like I think it would be interesting for you to like figure this out as we're watching it.
Yeah, I get I'm going to do a voiceover for one of the episodes, and I've deemed myself the Podtergeist. So I get the Podtergeist privilege of being like, I don't want it spoiled.
Yeah.
But you guys, it's on you.
Different problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think that's all the trivia that I had to talk about. So all I have left is my ratings if you don't have any other things.
I was having a hard time picking a weapon for ratings, but that's all that I have left too.
Do you remember when I laughed earlier when you were like, oh, and one more thing to put for episode 3, rest in peace, Mr. Guinea.
Is your weapon a microwave?
And he literally is murder weapon microwave _ rest in peace, Mr. Guinea.
I love you so much. God, we're fucking awful. Mom, I know you're listening. Do you hear who you raised? Both us?
Both us. Both of them.
Sweet Lord. Well, that's arguably better than my weapon because I decided to go with the weapon that killed Allie's mental health. Oh. Which is 2 clowns fucking on the watermelons.
That is really what did it.
Yeah.
That was really what she couldn't handle. Mostly because like their masks had like the holes and everything. Like they were compounding all of her fears, right? Like on top of each other.
Yeah, it was clowns, it was trypophobia, it was watermelons. Yes. Yeah. So what's your rating?
Okay, so for quality, I'm just doing for the first 4 episodes. I did 4 microwaves out of 5 for quality. Because I felt like this season had a lot of good comedic moments, like you were saying earlier, but it does maintain like a nice tension throughout. And I do like the way that they end every episode. Yeah. Like, they always kind of have to end the episodes on like a bit of a cliffhanger, but I kind of liked how some of these endings, they directly tie into the next.
Yeah.
Which are, kind of nice just for continuity's sake, just also kind of pulls you back in really easily.
Yeah, not like ending on a resolution. They're ending on like the beginning of the plot point for the next episode.
Yeah. I don't know. It just kind of leaves you like a different feeling in your brain rather than if they were to like end it with, because like, there's like the end of episode 1 when the Changs die, like that's a resolution. And then you move into episode 2 with like kind of the aftermath of that situation. Or I think it's with, I think honestly, the aftermath of episode 1 is when Allie and Ivy are like figuring out what Oz saw, right? Because they like come home that night and whatever. But so anyways, did a 4 out of 5 for quality. For scariness, honestly, I did a 5 out of 5. Nothing is scarier than the fucking 2016 presidential election. Although maybe I can't quite say that because now we're in for round 2. But so I did 5 out of 5 because I was like, dude, this is fucking terrifying. Reality scary enough. We didn't even need any supernatural elements. And then rewatchability, I don't rewatch this season as much. Now that I don't have them immediately available on streaming, I definitely haven't seen this season in a while. So I gave it a 3.8 out of 5 microwaves.
Yeah.
It's pretty solid across the board,
Yeah.
but still had
decent
some flaws.
Yeah.
It's definitely, it's one of my favorite American Horror Story seasons.
So right now I'm just trying to figure out, because like the fucking clowns, there's 2 of them. So if I say 4 out of 5, is that 8 clowns fucking? Because if I do 3 out of 5, it's just a threesome. But if I do like 1 out of 5, is it a masturbating clown? I think it has to be duos. So for quality, I did, I guess, 4 out of 5. So 8 clowns fucking on some watermelons.
On some watermelons for quality.
Yeah, for kind of similar things where I like that the continuity is really clear, but that like resolution / major plot point that's going to be in the next episode at the very end of the prior one.
Right.
I like that plot point isn't necessarily what the next episode starts with. It's somewhere in that episode, and you have to make sure you're paying attention to see how it's all tying together.
Yeah.
I do really appreciate that because it's hard for me to sit down and watch things a lot of the time, and that kept me in it. I was like, oh, that was that.
That calls back to the ending of that episode.
Yeah.
Right.
Also, it was just beautifully filmed.
Yeah.
Like all of the lighting and the color scoring and all of that was all just beautifully done. Ryan Murphy does actually know very well how to set up a scene where it is entirely in the dark, but it is not obtrusively dark.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, not like Game of Thrones, like, Battle of Winterfell or like.
Yeah, even like calling back to our Halloween episode,
right.
Like there's certain scenes where you can't see shit.
It's
and in this one, even when it's, like, are you real or am I asleep? Like you could still see everything that was happening there.
Yep.
So yeah, 4 out of 5 for that. Scariness, I was having a really hard time with what exactly my scale was going to be for scariness in this one, because I can't take this with the same framework that I would a scary movie. American Horror Story is just not built like that.
No.
It's not built for jump scares. It's not built for kind of the hallmark things that you would see out of normal horror movies.
Yeah, because it's TV horror, so there is a bit of digestibility to it.
Yeah.
I will tell you, there are some kills later on in this season that are hard to watch.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
I mean, we did get to see a microwaved guinea pig, so there's some brutal stuff.
That definitely was,
There's a couple of jump scares.
Yeah.
Minor.
Yeah. No, there definitely are jump scares. It's just I feel like it's mostly things that scare Allie.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? Like a good portion of this season is really like Allie and what Allie is terrified of, what her phobias are.
Yeah, like that coral that's been looking at her the whole fucking time.
I like how he called back to it. He's like, that coral's been there for like months, and she's like, I know, I've been managing it, but like this new thing is just like exacerbating everything, and so I can't handle it anymore. Right?
I love how she's just like, and it's just been staring at me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing with phobias. It's like you don't have any, like, they are irrational. Like, there's no rhyme or reason about it. Even if you could like stand there and be like, spiders can't hurt me. They can't see me. They're just pest control, right? Like all of these different things, right? But there's something to be said about like that feeling that your body gets when you see one, and you're just like, gotta kill it.
Yeah, it can't see me, it can't hurt me, it's pest control, but it's got too many legs.
It's got too many legs and it looks weird, and I can't.
Yep, and you know what? It probably discriminates against me for having too few legs.
It definitely doesn't, but I'm the spider saver in the relationship.
I'm learning. I've gotten so much better. Mushroom trips have helped a lot.
Oh,
with,
really?
Yeah, with spiders.
Because I remember I used to have to kill all the spiders for you.
Yeah. No, this is really recent. I've started to get over this fear in like the last 3 years.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah, I realized that if I'm intoxicated, they don't bother me. And so I'm like, there's something there.
Yeah, they just know instinctively.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So for scariness, I did have to kind of put it in the framework of like real life. Like this is terror that is built on just real life scenarios, and I rated it a 4 out of 5, which is 8 fucking clowns. And yeah, it's real life. It's happening again, and it's just as scary this time around, if not maybe a little bit more.
I think it's scarier this time.
I think it is too. We have everything stacked against us this time.
More like the cult is bigger this time too. I feel.
Yes, the cult is bigger, louder. More aggressive, more emboldened, and they have every branch of government.
You know what? This is a quick aside that really has been pissing me off the last couple of days.
We're allowed to be pissed off right now.
The fucking insurrection of our goddamn capital, and now there's going to be 25 people. They're going to be labeled fucking patriots in this country, and I can't stand it.
Yeah, they're going to
fucking stand it.
They are going to have committed high treason, which was a charge that was traditionally issued capital punishment.
Yeah.
And they are going to be pardoned.
They're probably going to be pardoned, and they're all going to be released from prison.
And then be patriots.
And they're going to go back to their towns. They're going to be like, wow, look at what I sacrificed for my country.
Yep.
That's what it's really been like.
Yeah.
It's like a cheese grater on my legs. Just it's just an extra bit of hate in the bottom of my soul.
Yeah. And, that was all an event where he was also trying to get his cult to kill the person that he had as his vice president. And yet they still think that there's allegiance anywhere.
There never has been. He's a narcissist. All he cares about is himself.
Yeah, I just don't get it. Because, I understand when I look... I am somebody who's fascinated by cults. I consume a lot of that content on a regular basis. And when I look at all of the cult leaders throughout history, or even political figures throughout history who have really turned countries on a dime.
Yeah.
They all have qualities that he doesn't have. I don't know how he is doing it. It makes no sense. He is preying on people's lack of intelligence, honestly.
Truly.
Yeah.
And I don't even really think he's doing it, right?
No.
I had somebody asked me recently, I don't even remember who it was, what I was afraid that he was going to do, that Trump was going to do specifically. And I was like, if we're being totally fucking honest, I don't think he does anything. No. I think he sits behind a desk and he signs things with Sharpies and he eats McDonald's. I don't think he's going to do anything. No. I think he's a figurehead.
Yep.
On the coin. The only other thing he could really do right now for his party is to but we don't say that on our podcast because I don't want to go to jail for threatening people.
Yeah. Yeah, because we also, moving forward, probably have to be fairly quiet about where we stand politically because we can turn into traitors.
Well, but if there's something to get hanged or shot for, I don't really want to live in this country for that much longer anyway. So,
No.
if that's really how I have to go out, if you used to have these quandaries in college about we'd have people that would be like, I can't understand French people who Germans would come to their door and they would be like, come help us kill Jewish people. And the French were just like, okay, right? That they would go and they would support somebody committing mass genocide. And I was like, do you realize how ignorant that statement is? Do you really think they just had an open forum of just anybody can come sign up if you want to? No, they went door to door, put a gun in the face of the first person who answered and said, guess what? You have a choice now. Either you get to come with me and commit atrocity and kill other people, which they didn't illustrate it this way.
No.
You can come with me and do what I want, or I can kill you and your entire family.
Yeah, and I'll make sure to kill them in front of you first.
Sure, and then I'm going to kill you, right? So, it's just
for some reason, a lot of people have this misconception that indoctrination is black and white, and they don't see the nuance that's involved.
Right.
It is very, very easy for people to hide their motives and get you to back something and then turn it
And
right
then
at the
flip
last second,
Mhm.
because I am also listening to a book that's called Fascism, A Warning by Madeline Albright. And
Mhm.
it talks about all of the people throughout history who have taken power in constitutional ways
Mhm.
and then use that power to push an agenda at the last second when they have millions of people who are already backing them.
Right.
And it is horrifying.
Mhm.
And it is not something that is easy to disseminate. It is
Mhm.
something that happens before you know it, and you're just like, how the fuck did we get here? But people don't like to critically think about history and apply it to where we are currently. And that's how you end up with this continuing to happen.
Yeah, I don't think people are really critically thinking in general.
No.
I think critical thinking has just been something that people just don't generally do anymore. When you start asking Meta AI to create your social media posts for you, like the amount of like AI prompts that I've gotten recently, and I could go into a whole like tinfoil hat theory about that we don't need to get into. But just this is backtracking a little bit, but to watching his acceptance speech, when you just watch Dana White, the owner of the WWE, and then Elon Musk, who's the owner of Tesla and part of SpaceX
and the site formerly known as Twitter,
Starlink, and all these and is the is the head of Twitter, which Trump was banned from. You see all of these people on stage and you're like, okay, how could people not vote for him? The people that are subscribing to both the WWE,
yep,
Elon Musk, and Twitter, those people aren't thinking critically.
No.
And that's a very, very, very large portion of the United States who subscribe to those things. That like that's where they get their information, right? That's where they trust their lives.
Exactly. And they don't think about what is motivating these people to be standing up for this man.
Yeah.
Because as you were saying before, truly Trump's only truly his only use is to get into power, to put the people who draft policies and agendas like Project 2025, put them into power and then die.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that he is there to do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious to see how this is going to work out,
but
I really hope that all of the information that I'm consuming is confirmation bias and that I turn out to be super wrong.
Yeah, of course you would hope that you were fucking wrong. We always we all hope that we're fucking wrong, okay? Like the people who cuz I've been having to have really serious discussions recently about like wanting to prep and wanting to just kind of get ready for a potential civil war. And I'm not like, and I've had to also like preface it with being like, I'm not saying let's go to the store and buy all the toilet paper and start setting aside all of our money to buy guns. That's not what I'm saying.
No.
But all I'm saying is that like we have no idea. And I would hate to get in the middle of it, like to get to a point where like, because I don't really see anything truly bad happening right now, at least until Inauguration Day.
Yeah.
Which I don't really see that going badly because he actually got voted in this time.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't stolen from him and he had to fight for it back. I'm more worried about 4 years from now when he has to leave.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want to. And now other people have to get involved to get him out, and just like what that fallout could potentially look like. And so I'm just trying to think practically of just a matter of like, we live in a city where like there's only 3 ways to get out onto I-5 and they're all bridges. And if you have a civil war on your hands, the first thing you want to do is to get power in some of the biggest places. We live in Portland. It's a pretty big place here. And it would be really easy to isolate it in terms of Portland itself.
Yeah.
You just got to cut off those 3 bridges and you've got a significant amount of people trapped in one area.
Yeah. In like the true Pacific Northwest, we are one of 2 major cities.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's all I'm saying. And so it's like it's like not a prepare for the end times, because that's what we've literally been doing for like decades now, is just like prepare. I can't imagine just like in our lifetimes all of these different things that have happened, right, between like natural disasters, school shootings, terrorism, terrorism not only from foreign countries but then also from within our own country, right? And you just see all of these different things that are happening, or a pandemic, a global pandemic, and you're just like, okay, I'm just waiting, the other shoe's gonna drop eventually. And
how many apocalypses There should never have to be more than
I
one.
was gonna
How many
say,
of those?
This is kind of unfortunate when you have to come up with the, plural form of apocalypse.
Yeah, but like, how many of these are we going to live through?
Yeah.
Like, who blames us for looking at worst case scenario or for our minds kind of jumping to that?
Yeah.
When that's what we've seen through our whole life.
That's how it's been. I mean, I don't really know what else to tell you. I mean,
Yeah.
Sure. Come get mad at us because we didn't have to deal with a fucking draft.
Yeah.
Because literally, if you say that we didn't have to deal with war, that's some fucking horseshit. We weren't forced into it.
Yeah, we've been in war our entire lives.
Yeah, which is also, it's just also very interesting to me too, because wouldn't you not want your kids to have to go to war? Wouldn't you want the world to be a better place at that point? That war is never going to go away. It's never going to be something that like we're not going to have anymore because we're fucking selfish as human beings and we need to conquer each other. That's my tinfoil hat theory for why we still have like organized sports.
Oh yeah.
So we can still have wars.
Yeah.
It's like literally why.
It's literally like micro scale wars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're just fighting for power and territory and status and rank and all
we just want
to
watch people beat the shit out of each other.
You just want to you want to dominate somebody else, and we can't do that. Or it's not that we can't do it; it's uncivilized to do that. When it's literally the human condition is to go and like take over something, kill whatever lived there beforehand, and then put your little flag on it.
Yep. Yeah, and I mean it's even extending outside of our planet. So.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a kind of a big problem that we have it's not as a country, because I think the only a lot of people are talking about like climate change, how we should start caring a lot about our planet, right? But all I feel like human beings care about is getting there first. Mm-hmm. And first it was the moon, and now it's Mars, and so it just feels like it's like everybody that has any kind of power that could use that power to actually make our planet better, even like eradicate hunger for everybody, right? Because we have plenty of food and plenty of money. Yeah. But we want our flag on Mars first, God damn it.
Yeah.
So put all the money into SpaceX and put it all into the military and put it,
And as somebody who is currently studying environmental science and is currently in an environmental ethics class, we have a turning point on climate policy happening very, very quickly. And it just so happens that we just elected the worst possible person to be in office when we need to do that, as one of the major emitters of greenhouse gases.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, we pulled out of the Paris Agreement. We never got back in it.
So we did.
We did?
We
really?
did. Yeah, we got back in it, but now we're going to pull back out. So, yeah.
Oh, I mean, I guess.
Yeah, Biden put us back in it.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. Like, man.
And now we're going to get back out. And, the world's going to love that. But then, lastly, rewatchability 4 out of 5, so 8 fucking clowns. And I think
the tangent we got on was so good.
And I expect that we're going to have a lot of conversations that are fairly similar to this for the next 2 episodes as well. And as much as I want to say that this is an open platform for people to have open, honest conversations about political things, because I think it is important that we do talk about those. Ultimately, this show, while we do have commentary on things that are happening in real life also, our podcast is a review show, and we are reviewing American Horror Story. Don't fight in the reviews. Don't use this as a way to start instigating things with people.
No.
We're going to have these conversations. We're the ones with the microphones. So, if this is something that you don't really care to digest, if this is something that you would rather either like turn a blind eye to, or if you don't agree with us, skip a couple episodes.
Yeah, it's super easy. Just skip it for a little bit. Just take a little hiatus. Because truly, like I agree with you. We just live in this country. I vote. Those are the 2 things that I can say that I confidently have access or power over, and the rest of it is something that we're not really equipped to really like open that like conversation up.
Yeah.
Bigger than just us just talking about it.
Yeah.
And specifically, we're only talking about it because of what the subject matter that we're covering.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah. Yeah. The only person who can weigh in on this conversation also is Echo, and she is a communist. So
through and through. Fucking Christ.
Yeah. Well.
Oh, the only other thing we've got is just our what you doing.
Oh,
which I think we should do.
That's really important.
Yeah, I think we should do that one. I think that's a good one.
Yeah. You know, I thought I was gonna have a lot more free time to like do fun things. Also,
well, it's just like over this last week. Like, what fun thing did you do?
Because like content wise, like I'm not reading for pleasure right now.
Right.
Right. My environmental ethics class has like ramped it up to where I'm reading 100 pages a week just for that class.
So you don't have time. You're just
so
like,
yeah, I don't really have time for it. For like games or visual content, I try to squeeze in some Baldur's Gate when I can. But otherwise, over the last week, the fun thing that I did was go to the hot springs with you.
Mm-hmm. Hell yeah, we gotta talk about that. Well, and I wanted to talk about that. Sorry, I just took a drink of my energy drink because the 4th episode of American Horror Story Cult was titled 11/9.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when we went to the hot springs.
That is.
And so it was just kind of like, oh, we got to talk about that. That's kind of cool. So yeah, I think initially our plan for that Saturday was that we were just going to meet up to go to a haunted cemetery.
Yeah.
But you and I were texting the night before, and you had mentioned that you were going to get up early and go to these hot springs that were nearby. And I was like, fuck it, I could take a morning off. Let's go.
Yeah.
So we went out to, it's called Bagby.
Yeah.
Nice. Bagby Hot Springs.
Yeah, I had been planning to go out there, and then I had a friend who was like on and off interested about going, and I wasn't really sure like what their thing was, and then I got in a fender bender the day before.
Right.
And so I was just like, actually, I don't know how this is going to work out. I'm about to call the insurance company, and so I canceled with them. And then while I was in the heat of being really fucking annoyed about all of this, I texted you, and you're like, I took the morning off. Why don't we go?
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I should. Like,
it'll be good for the soul.
It'll be good for the soul. It'll be time for us to actually have some time together outside of filming or recording.
Right.
And we can actually like relax.
We could just chill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sit in some hot water and just like let it flow out to the forest.
Fucking go, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really, really nice. And shout out to our bathmate Jerry.
Yeah, Jerry was fucking rad.
He was really cool.
Yeah.
I really liked the setup too. I've been to a hot spring before, but I've only been to the ones where it's like natural stone that you just like, you know, sit in the hot water. And these was like a spirited away bathhouse.
Yeah.
Where you like sit in the empty bath. Oh, and it was pretty cold when we got in there. Like I remember my feet were like freezing, but you just like would grab this tube that had this super scalding, slightly sulfur smelling water and just let it dump in there. And then we also had this big like, what would you call it? Like a barn trough, like a metal barn trough that just had cold, what I'm assuming was river water.
Yeah.
Just straight out of that river that was just going underneath us. So you could kind of alternate between scalding hot and freezing cold.
And it's just such a nice vibe out there. You're in the middle of like some old growth forest. It's just
so gorgeous.
Yeah.
And it was pretty too. Like I fully expected it to rain on us, but it was pretty partially cloudy and misty when we were there. So
yeah,
it was gorgeous as fuck.
And it was also so fun to share. It's a very short hike. It's like a mile each way.
Oh yeah.
But it was so fun to share that hike with you because I'm normally the person who's like, oh my God, look at that mushroom. Look at that. Look at that. And for us both to be like, oh my God, look at that. Look at that rock. Look at that.
I know. It's funny because it's like we grew up together because I feel like I'm always that person too where I'll be like trailing behind everybody, just being like, oh my God, look at this moss. Look, trillium.
Yeah.
Fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. It's just like, I can't stop myself from just connecting with all of the different natural elements around me when I'm out.
Right.
And it's so nice to actually share that with somebody who understands.
1,000%. I will always understand. And I like that hike too. Like you said, it's easy. It's not super difficult. It's kind of a nice way to warm up before you get into the hot spring. Where like your body's warmed up a little bit. And it was just so pretty. Just so like the Pacific Northwest is like really hard to beat.
It is. I was actually talking to Nick a bit earlier about kind of what I want to do after my degree. Yeah. And I was like, I'm going to be applying to a lot of places as soon as I can to figure out, who's going to bite. But my goal is to stay in the Pacific Northwest.
If you can, right?
Yeah.
Depending on like location. It might be kind of cool, like depending on what jobs are open to go take an out of state job and just kind of keep looking for when things open up back over here. But I can understand. Like I would never want to leave. It would be very, very difficult for me. And I wanted to study cheetahs in Africa. Yeah. Right.
When I was going for conservation ecology a few years ago, it was painted dogs. So I was going to be in Africa too.
Could have been there side by side. Yep. I had so many people that were like, don't go to Africa. Don't do it. I was like,
still to this day, I want to go to Africa.
I know. We should go.
Yeah.
We could go sometime.
That'd be so much fun.
Absolutely. Yeah. Harrison and I have been talking about how we just want to like actually go out of the country. We haven't done that before. Mm-hmm. I've been out of the country a couple of times because I was born in the military, but he hasn't. Like, I think no, actually, I can't say that for sure. I don't know if he's ever been out of the country.
If you guys like apply for your passports for Christmas or something, let's fuck off to Canada for my birthday.
Oh, we could do that. Yeah. We've been meaning to get our passports. I was just telling him that I was like, I could go pick it up from the post office. It's not that far. I could just pick it up like tomorrow before they close. The only other thing that I had for my what you doing is I just finished a new game. I started another one, but I just finished this one that I really wanted to talk about because it's adorable. I got it for $3. It was called Red Lantern.
Oh, I remember you mentioning this.
Yeah, it's fucking dope. So you play this girl who she has her dog, Chomper, and she wants to learn how to dog sled in Alaska. And she wants to like start her life there. And so I'm assuming she has some dog sledding skills, or she's taken a class or something. And so she's driving on her way to pick up the other 4 dogs that are going to be on her sled team. And so you're getting to pick those dogs for whatever traits that you like about them. And then you're actually traversing over like the Alaskan tundra with them. And like things happen, you have to forage and hunt for your own food. You have to take care of them. They sometimes take care of you. If at any point, if you die, like you starve to death or something like that happens, your character just wakes up. Like they had a daydream while they were on their way to pick up the dogs. Okay. And it's like they say to themselves like, oh shit, I starved to death. I'm going to bring more food this time. And so like the next run that you do, you're starting with more and more resources.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. Or like as you're doing runs, like you'll find things like that can help you, like tools or like other resources. And so then the next time you play, your character's like, oh yeah, it would be a really good idea to have an axe. And so they just like, it gets conjured into your inventory the next time you play.
I love that.
It's really fun. I really liked it.
That's such a nice breakaway from the way that games are typically like, oh, you died and all your shit's back there.
Oh, it's just game over, start over, right?
Yeah.
And it was just kind of this fun little, like it's like a dungeon crawler where every time you're playing the same game, right? You're playing the same game, but you're getting just slightly better every time.
I like that.
It was a lot of fun. I don't typically like those types of games. But this one, I completed this one fairly fast, so I would only recommend it if it was on sale, just because I finished it in probably like 3 hours, 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah.
And you can like keep playing it, like after you get to that first, like once you get to your cabin, that's when the game ends. But you can keep playing it because you're just playing through all of the different dogs' storylines.
Oh, okay.
And because they'll have like specific objectives that you're trying to help them overcome while on the run.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you finish it, they get an accessory, like a pair of goggles or like a jacket or whatever. And you have access because you're only picking 4 dogs. I think there's 8 dogs total.
Mm-hmm.
So once you finish the run with the first round of dogs, you get to repick your team and say like you don't want to use any of your first dogs. You get to go back through that beginning animation and just pick one of the other dogs, and then they'll like be on that run with you. So it's kind of fun. Like
I like that.
I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
It's just one of those where it has a ton of details. is really cute and campy. Obviously, I fucking love the dogs because I love dogs. There's even a button on it. It's an accessibility button where the dogs can't die, which I also appreciate. Yeah, it's super cute. You should definitely check it out.
I will.
It's
I
super
will.
fun.
Nick would definitely let me borrow a Switch and have
It was
a go
fun
at it.
for Harrison and I to swap out.
Yeah.
Like he would play one run and then I would play a run, and like so we would, because it would be so quick. Like,
yeah.
Highly recommend.
Now that I think about it, I am not reading a physical book. I am consuming 2 audiobooks right now.
Oh, nice. Which ones are they?
In the same day too. So I start my mornings with listening to Fascism, A Warning by Madeline Albright to get me really, fired up,
ready for the day,
prepared for the day, because nothing starts the day off on a positive foot quite like a quad espresso and learning about fascism.
Right.
And then to go to bed at night, I'm listening to Gathering Moss by Dr. Robin Wall Kimmerer, and it is a book where it teaches the intersection of Western science and native environmentalism. And it is a beautifully written book.
Oh.
She says in the beginning of the book that she recognized that aside from research and science, where her skills were going to be the most valuable were going to be in telling the story.
Yeah.
And it is such a beautifully written book, and I fall asleep to it every night because she has a very soothing voice. And it is also just so informative. Like I woke up in the middle of the night and couldn't go back to sleep, and so I learned how this one moss that doesn't necessarily have a great way to reproduce and to cover more ground area, it gets picked up on the feet of chipmunks, and as the chipmunks walk, it helps the moss to distribute, and it is beautiful.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Fucking nature finds a way, man.
Yeah. And so,
I'll have to check that out.
Start your morning fighting fascism and your day learning about moss.
Learning about moss. Moss is fucking cool.
Yeah.
Moss is fucking super cool. It's kind of funny. I also go to sleep listening to stuff, but it's more like documentaries about Subnautica.
Ooh, okay.
So it'll literally just be like YouTube videos about like, all of the different biological creatures in Subnautica and like where they have ties to like actual creatures in our world. And then I'll also listen to like recaps of like different stories and things that are from Subnautica. I think it's just because I'm really excited for the new game that's coming out next year. Which is hilarious because the first game scared the absolute shit out of me. So I don't know why the second game is going to be any better. But maybe that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm like, finally, something that scares the piss out of me.
Yeah, that's not something we want.
No.
It's
it's like my drug now. It's like what I'm actively seeking. It's like, man, I wish I had that like when I watched The Ring and then couldn't go to sleep that night. Like, where's that feeling at? Although I did actually hear recently from a friend of mine that the only way to really get that kind of childhood like fear back is just to watch scary movies while tripping.
So down.
So we got to do that.
So
gotta get
fucking down.
some like mushies and like, I don't know. We got to watch some shit.
Yeah.
Something. It literally doesn't matter.
Yeah. I mean, we got time for at least 2 movies if we're tripping.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Holy shit. And then we could like write notes alongside of it. Oh man. We'd need a trip sitter.
Well, I can try to write.
I could try. It'd be mostly like just black circles with a crayon.
Yeah. This is the ring.
Yeah, this is the ring. I did it.
Yeah, it's Samara's house.
Yes. See, can you see her down there in the bottom of the well? Is there anything else? I think that's it.
I don't think so.
I think that's it for the evening.
Just hug your friends and family.
I was gonna say, like, yeah, be nice to yourself and be nice to others. And yeah, just like stay spooky.
Yeah.
Something. I don't know.
Yeah. Stay spooky and don't
be a better person.
Don't be a bigot.
Don't be a bigot. Don't be a fucking racist. It's not that hard. Trust me.
Yeah. Build community, not a cult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like that. Build community, not a cult. Have a great night. Bye-bye.
Bye.
It's always spooky.